So speaking of kids, you have a number of children yourself. You're an amazing father. We'll get to that in a second, but you were very close with your mother, who unfortunately
Yeah.
died of cancer. Talk to me about her death and how that affected you.
Yeah, my mom was super mom. My dad was out doing what he needed to do, provide for our family. So our mom was everything. Um, would go without eating to feed us, make sure we were always clothed and homework was done and ready for school. Again, I was born in 1980. And if you know anything about the 80s, everyone pretty much did drugs back then. And my parents were
Mhm.
no different. But I think, what I was blessed with was they were able to still function while they were doing that. So we were always fed. We were always clean. We always had clothes on our back. We always ate. Our homework was always done. So although I can go to school and you would never know what was going on at home, it wasn't always sweet at home. So my mom did her best to try to make ends meet and be super mom. And unfortunately, she was diagnosed with four cancers. Four cancers, all in stage 4, November
Oh,
1st, 2007, and she died November 27th, 2007. So within 26 days, she was diagnosed and she was gone.
oh,
And it was tough because obviously her being my best friend and my rock and my confidant and my drinking buddies at the game. Like she used to come to the games and she'd be in the bars with us after the games, taking shots and hanging out, and kind of almost a team mom in the NBA, which is crazy because
mm,
that doesn't really happen. But she was just always full of great energy and such a vibe that losing her so fast was difficult, and it really affected obviously my family hard. But I didn't know how to take it. It was. I don't know. As much as she meant to me, I never cried from her death, and I don't know why. I don't know if it turned me numb or if it did something to me where I don't know. So it's been man, it's been my yeah my tw- so th- my mom died and my twins came almost a year after that. So my twins turned 14 in November, and it was the 15-year anniversary this past November of my mom being gone. And obviously, think about her daily. The pain never goes away. I just tell people, over time you learn how to manage the pain, I guess,
yeah,
and continue to try to do right now, because now she's always watching. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
anytime I'm doing some shit, I'm thinking like, I know my mom's watching this, so it kind of it keeps me a little bit on point as well. So, anyone who's ever lost a parent, particularly a mom, it's the most devastating thing you can go through. Um,
Yeah. I lost
and
my father too, and it was when I was 15, and it was devastating. And it's interesting you say that because I did not cry for a very long time, and I think that maybe a year later, I was taking a shower of all
and it hits you.
places, and it hit me because I think I was alone, and
Mm,
it was just the most odd place, and out of nowhere, I just started sobbing, and
mm,
then it stopped. And to this day, I kind of don't deal with it. Do you know what I mean? And
mm,
it's very odd. And once in a while, something will happen that'll trigger it, like a song
mhm,
or something will happen. But I
mhm.
really keep it inside of me. It's
Yeah. Well,
so it's interesting that you say that.
yeah. Well, I think it's tough. I mean, there's no rhyme or reason or any method on how you grieve. I think everyone grieves differently. My
Hmm.
brother and sister, I saw my mom literally zipped up in a body bag, and it gives me chills to this day. And it's just like, there's no way how you know how to deal with that shit. There's no one
Yeah.
teaches us how to deal with that. So to me, I just think everyone mourns different, and I respect, the way everyone decides to mourn. But yeah, we definitely have similar, takes from our situation, because obviously they meant so much to us. But for some reason, I still, 15 years later, have never let that big cry out. So
Hmm.
if it's coming, I welcome it. If it's not, well,
And did your team help you kind of get through that?
absolutely.
Mhm.
Team was great. The organization was great because at the time, again, I was playing for the Golden State Warriors. So that's an hour and some change from Sacramento. So daily I was driving to see her in the hospital. They let me miss practice, let me just come to games. And then when she finally, when unfortunately, when she did pass, they were very supportive. They came to the funeral. The entire organization came to the funeral. And really that's where my co-host and I now for All the Smoke, Steven Jackson, became brothers. He had got traded to our team February of 2007, and we made a historical NBA run where we were the eighth seed. We beat the number one seed for the first time in NBA history in the 7-game series. So the very next season, the season starts in November. My mom's diagnosed November 1st. So I'm just kind of out of it. And Steven Jackson was the one. I mean, obviously everyone was very supportive, but Steven Jackson was the one constantly calling me, checking on me, bringing me food, coming over to smoke with me and watch TV. So he was really kind of just my rock. So from there, we went from, competing against each other and becoming teammates to becoming brothers and the best of friends to this day. Again, we have an award-winning podcast together now, but that's when he and I's real connection started, was when I lost my mom.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So now talk to me about fatherhood.
Awesome. I had a rough childhood, and I always told myself, and when I would pray, that if I ever had the opportunity to be a father, I would be the best dad possible. And I was blessed with the opportunity to have twins off the rip, which was crazy. Wasn't necessarily ready for that. And
was that natural?
Yeah, wow. Natural. Don't think I went from having no kids to 2 kids right away. And the kid part wasn't necessarily hard. It was just obviously having a partner now, a real partner, because at that time, their mom and I were up and down. We were young. She was 22. I think I was 26 or 27 when we got pregnant. I'm in the midst of kind of just starting to break out as an NBA player. And it was just tough. And then all of a sudden, bam, I got 2 baby boys. So the fatherhood came natural, came easy. To this day, what I'm most proud of is being a father, but just learning how to parent and then co-parent when her and I divorced, and then maintaining and understanding, although we're going through our BS, that the kids are still the most important thing. And I think that's hard for a lot of people. I'm not an odd. I mean, now unfortunately, more. There's more blended and broken families than mom and dad have been married for 30 years type stories. Those are rare. Those are rare these days. So we're like pretty much everyone else, where we have a blended family now. So the twins are 14 now, and amazing, and I get a chance to coach them and see them all the time and father them, and they're just growing up too damn fast. And then I have a 4-year-old who thinks he's 14 as well, has a vocabulary of a 14-year-old, which is not a very good thing. That I have with my fiance, and then my fiance has 3 children from a previous marriage. So we have 14-year-old twin boys, 11-year-old daughter, 10-year-old son, 8-year-old son, 4-year-old son. So we have 6 kids from the age of 4 to 14. So we're the Black Brady's over here. But is it always easy? No. Is it worth it? Absolutely. Does it stress me the fuck out sometimes? Absolutely. But I love it. And the fact that, I remember growing up with my brother and sister and playing with them and fighting with them. And I just know those are some of the fondest memories I cherish. So now that we have 6 and there's yelling and fighting and screaming and good times and bad times, I just know it was something, these kids will always remember, as they continue to grow up. So I embrace it. If I need to get away and get into my man cave and lock the door and get some quiet time, my fiance allows me to do that. And again, fatherhood is the best, if you can even call it, job, best job in the world.
All right. Talk to me about hybrid TV. You're